Good evening and Chodesh Tov to Yedid Nafshi, Arav Professor Danny Hershkovitz, to Dr. Mordechai Katz, Chairman of the Board of Bar Ilan, Honorable Trustees, Major General Charlie Bolden, the NASA Administrator, and Mrs. Bolden. You honor us with your presence here. For me particularly, it's a great pleasure seeing some old friends from Brazil, Mr. and Mrs. Duer, and also from Mexico, the Feldman family that I haven't had the opportunity to salute. But I remember very, very, very much Rab Shimshon Feldman. He was the head of the community. Y mi amigo también, el ingeniero Israel Feldman. As was said by one of the speakers, it's an international gathering, very much becoming of what Bar Ilan is all about. And when my dear friend, the president of Bar Ilan, and I don't know anybody on earth that fits so much the function of president of this institution as Danny. When they mentioned, and also Merav, Dr. Merav Galili, about this evening, of course, it's a natural match. Daniaeli was very fond of Professor Hershkovitz, and actually, I think the last time you met, you gave a beautiful lecture here on the Shabbat of our community, Ra'anana community. She was supposed to be now a first-year student in, should I say Be'er Sheva, or is it all right to say? But she was taken from us. She was a volunteer at the oncological department at the Children's Hospital Schneider in Petach Tikva. It's a pain that goes against the normal way of life. As we say, it's the lo darko shel olam. I hope she'll forgive me one day when we meet, because she was very modest. She didn't even get to see her 768 on the psychometry, which came on the second day that we were sitting Shiva. And we never knew exactly what she did in Schneider. We knew she was a volunteer there, but we didn't know how much of a volunteer she was. But when we meet, I hope she forgives me. She will forgive me for I think this is the 25th if I would call it an enterprise in her name or in her memory. Certainly very much against the way she conducted her life. I'm still in the mood, and so I guess is my wife, of doing it for us to survive. And I hope one day we'll do it, as we call it, lishma, in her memory. Right now we're doing because we need to do it. Bar Ilan stands for excellence. In the beginning, she thought on studying Cheker HaMoach, brain research. Actually, she paid a visit to Professor Dizendruck, who was the head of the department. I believe he still is. A Brazilian, of course. By coincidence, a Brazilian. I knew him since he was a baby. But Bar Ilan, with this unique combination of Torah and Mada, and headed by such a noble Rav, mathematician and Rav, and Manhig and minister, it's a real privilege to be part of it. For the future doctors, medical doctors, MDs that we just saw here, each one comes from a different city in Israel, as they told me. I believe I speak on behalf of everybody here We wish them boredom, but a brilliant career on behalf of anybody, any human being that comes their way. That will be our biggest reward. Kol Tuv Shalom to everybody.
Thank you, Moti. Professor Hershkowitz wanted to present you with surprise, something modest, but hopefully meaningful.
Very much.
תעודת הוקרה, תעודה זו מוענקת למר מוטי זוננפלד על הענקת מלגות מקרן דניאלי על שם דניאלי רוזנפלד, זיכרונה לברכה, לסטודנטים הלומדים בפקולטה לרפואה של אוניברסיטת בר אילן בגליל. תרומתך זו מקדמת את שוויון ההזדמנויות בהשכלה הגבוהה, מטפחת את רופאי העתיד של מדינת ישראל ומחזקת את פועלה של הפקולטה לרפואה באוניברסיטת בר אילן בגליל. תמיכתך מוערכת עד מאוד. הרעיפו שמיים ממעל ושחקים יזלו צדק, תפתח ארץ ויפרו ישע וצדקה תצמיח יחד. פסוק מישעיהו. תודה רבה מוטי.